Good morning, everybody. Rick here. Today is Wednesday, July the 29th. And I want to talk to you about a really simple strategy that I've been using for quite a while. But I am now moving it over to at the money binaries and seeing how, and it's been working pretty good, but I'm still testing it out just a little bit. So these are demo trades that I'm using on binaries, but I've been doing this on the futures market for quite a while. Okay, I have my order flow charts up, but this does not require order flow. As you can see, I got the candles in the middle, but I'm leaving the order flow up because it's recording a footprint that I'll need to use for later on. But just bear with me as I get to explaining this one here. So this strategy is based off of this black line. This is the 8 simple moving average line. And what we are looking for are bounces off of it. So for example, I'm going to use this bar right here as an example right now. This bar closed down here. It closed below this 8 moving average. So what I'm looking for are bounces off of the 8 moving average in a sell position. This bar right here closed above the moving average, so this next bar I would be looking for buys above the 8 moving average, looking for bounces directly off of that number. So let me show you here how this actually works. Now this bar, it closed above, this is a bar right here in the middle. It closed above the moving average. So this particular bar, I would wait for it to get to this number right here, 45, 59, 47. So what I'm doing is looking for a binary as close to that number as possible. And when this bar closes, I will set a working order for $50 on this particular bar. And because it closed above it, I will be setting a working order to go long on it. Now, I did demo. I'm actually in this particular trade on demo right now. And I have a binary for 45.58.5. 45.58.5. So it's down here below the bar. And it got filled at $50. So typically, if you get a binary on either side real close, I typically like to take the one that's below the moving average, for the simple fact that it can act as a barrier over the long run. So okay, so right now I'm in this trade. There's 7 minutes left in it. I'm in at $50, and it just needs to close above 45.58.51. So it needs to close above that one for a long trade. So I'm going to let this one play out and see how this all works. Now, I normally do this on a futures market, except I use it as a scalping technique. So I'll use this bar right here, for example. I think this is a trade that I actually took this morning. Okay, I set right here. I set a working order or a limit sell order on the futures market right here. This bar at the time was 45.64.50. And it went up, it got filled, and it fooled around in this area. Now this is where I actually use order flow when I'm scalping. That way I can actually see the chances of it keep pushing up or come back down. So what happened on this particular bar, it went up, it pushed on through a little bit, then it came back down, and I got filled at 45. I'll actually have to go back and look at my order history, but it was 45.64.50, give or take a tick. And I took it down for 10 ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I took it down for 10 ticks as it was still fluctuating in between these areas. took it down to 45.62 and took profit there. So, and obviously it closed up. So on a binary, this particular trade would have lost. But that's why I like scalping it for a couple $100, depending on how many lots that I'm trading on futures, which typically in anywhere from more than it. I don't ever trade more than 5, but yeah, I typically like to trade in between 1 and 2 lots. But if they're super solid, high probability trades, then I'll trade up to 5 lots on futures. But as I said, right now I'm just trying this out on the binaries at flat out at the money, $50, with no stop loss or no take profit. I'm just kind of letting it run and see what happens on these particular things here. Now, I typically have a few filters in place when I'm using these on futures. So for example, as you see this bar sloping down, I would only be looking for short sales on these particular things. So this bar would have to close below here, and then I would be looking for, and the next bar would have to open up down here, and I would be looking for shorts coming off of that and coming on back down. This bar closed above. This is a slope down. This would normally be a no trade for me, but because I'm trying this out on binaries, on demo account, I'm just kind of seeing how this works out. And then I will use the deviation lines for certain support resistant levels. So if this was a support line right in this area here, then excuse me, then I would probably not trade that one down either. So, all right. And then I'm also probably going to start looking at scalping these also. So if I'll set a working order in for 50, I'll get out at 25 or $75 for a 25 profit on that one. So I could actually get out right now on this one at $82. And go ahead and move on to the next trade. But again, I'm just playing with this one. What I'm want to do is backtest a lot of this stuff and see how often it actually closes in the money at $50. And it's actually a really easy backtest to visually look at. I wish I knew how to do it on a analyzer to do that, but my programming skills aren't up to par in that area there. So so I'll just go and back test a lot of these things and see if there's certain hours of the day that work a lot better. I know for sure that you need some volume to really work this strategy pretty good. So it don't have to be super high volume, but it can't be next to none. So we'll see what happens on that one. So, all right, I'm gonna pause the video and I will be back after this trade closes and we'll see what happens. Okay. All right, guys. So this trade closed right here, which was in the money. So that was a $50 take profit on that trade on a binary there. So what I did right now on this next trade, because this one closed above this moving average, I set a working order for, there's a binary for 49 or 45.59, which is pretty much actually on that moving average, which is 45.59.41. So there's a binary working order set for $50. It's not filled yet because, as you can see, there's no tail or hasn't been any push down yet. It may or may not. We'll see. And that's what I will continue to do. Now, if it's way out and there's really hardly any of a chance to get back in this area, sometimes I won't bother with it. But what I like to do is look at all 4 of them, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the Dow. And just look with the particular areas. Now, a perfect storm for these whole things is the slant of the moving average. I like for them all to be slanting in the same direction. So the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P are all slanting up, which is good. And NASDAQ is pretty flat right now, which is okay too. So this is just a very simple strategy that again, I use on futures quite a bit just for scalping techniques, but I'm trying it out with binaries now. I may start using scalping for $20 to $25 on it, or I may just let it go to full profit with either feast or famine. It's either gonna finish in the money, out of the money with no take profit set and no stop loss set. So this is where, excuse me, I need to go backwards and see how often it closes in the money when it does these particular bounces off of this one here. And only thing it needs to be is over 50% or about 51%. And over the long run, you'll make money from it. So, that's what I'm doing. So this is the strategy that I'm testing today. As well as some order flow stuff that I'm continuously looking at, but I'm not ready to discuss just yet. So, all right, guys, appreciate you, and I will see you later.